It has always seemed very odd to me how people always assume that if you live alone, you're lonely, because those two things are not really the same. Because I almost feel like being alone is kind of like a skill that you need to practice from time to time, and it's actually very valuable for you to be comfortable all by yourself, because it kind of gives you like this sense of freedom that you're not really going to like jump into relationships that you don't want, and you're not really going to try to just find anyone to be with just to not be alone, because you're going to be comfortable with being alone. And then also on top of it, like, how can you expect to be comfortable with somebody else if you're not really even comfortable with being by yourself? Because I mean, first of all, you should be comfortable with being by yourself, and only then you can start thinking that you're going to be comfortable with somebody else. So like, first of all, learn how to be with yourself, and then only find somebody that you can be with. So that's kind of like where I stand with that. And also I feel like this is even like more important for guys, because guys are going to start getting into like wacky relationships and start like kind of like opening up doors to being like mentally abused if they're going to be afraid of being alone. And then also on top of it, like, guys are not really very good at household stuff. So if you have always been with a woman and a woman has always lived with you, then eventually you're going to kind of get dependent on it, and you're not really going to be able to even be alone, because like you're not really going to know how to do like most of the household things that you would need to know how to do. So for an example, like doing the dishes in the dishwasher, I'm pretty sure that a lot of guys don't really know how to use a dishwasher. Then on top of it, also like doing the laundry and stuff like that. So you do learn quite a lot of new things when you are alone. And also on top of it, you just kind of get to like do whatever the fuck is it that you want to do. And for me, that's like the big one. Like the valuable one for me is like I can do whatever the fuck is it that I want to do. I don't have to be shy to do or to pursue any of my hobbies. Everything is exactly in the order in which I want it to be. So it's kind of like a sense of freedom. It's like a nice, freeing feeling that you can be alone perfectly fine. And okay, if there is somebody you are with, that's fine, and that is a good thing. But you're not really going to be dependent on somebody being there. So you're just going to kind of go with the flow. And you're not going to pick relationships just because you want somebody to be there. So in my opinion, that is very freeing, and I'm actually very kind of blessed that I've spent a very big portion of my life alone, because that way I just kind of learned how is it that I want to do stuff. I learned what is it that I need for me to be happy as a human being. And then also I've been in relationships. I've lived with a woman before. I've lived actually with like several women before. So like it's kind of like you learn both, because both are kind of tricky. And like being alone is a little bit tricky, because like you are going to maybe feel a little bit lonely from time to time. But then actually the trickier part for me was when I was married and when I was living with a woman, because like you kind of have to get used to there being a mess, because you feel like if you are going to live with a woman, everything is going to be perfectly organized in exactly the way that you want. But that is very rarely the case. I'll let you guys on a little secret. Women leave a lot of hair everywhere, and they leave a lot of makeup stains everywhere. And everything is going to be an absolute mess until you or her decide to clean the apartment. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be that well structured and that clean if you're going to be with a woman. And then on top of it, it also kind of depends on what kind of women are you into. Because like if you're into like pretty women, then they are not going to be all that active when it comes to cleaning and cooking and doing stuff like that. So you might actually even end up in a relationship where you as a man are going to be the one that is going to be doing the cooking and the cleaning, which I probably would advise you to stay away from, because I still feel like these like very traditional roles is something that I value dearly, even though me myself I've been in a relationship where I cook and I clean instead of the woman. So like it's tricky, and it's like you kind of have to find the way to do it the way that like kind of suits you the most. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to try both, and I feel like being alone doesn't always equal being lonely, and you should try to be alone for a period of time. You should get comfortable with being by yourself, and then you can start building relationships, and then you can kind of start like actually figuring out how is it that you want to live together with another person. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about today. Today has been a exceptionally boring day. First of all, I did something to my shoulder a little bit, so I wasn't really able to go to the gym. And I mean, like I was able to go to the gym. It's just like at this point in my diet, everything is so tricky and so sensitive that I don't really want to fuck anything up. and I don't want to end up in a situation where I cannot work out for like a week or more. So as soon as I had a little bit of an ache in my shoulder, I just decided that I'm not going to go to the gym today. I'm just going to do some cardio. I'm going to do some household chores because I know how to clean and because I know how to cook, because I live alone. So yeah, I just decided to kind of take it a little bit slow today and not really go to the gym, which is annoying because I did want to go to the gym, but I feel like it is a good skill to have as well, to like pace yourself and to understand when is it that you're just being lazy and when is it that you actually maybe need to slow down a little bit and chill out a little bit and just kind of like give it a little bit of time before you go back into the gym. So I am going to be going to the gym tomorrow, so that is going to be the plan for tomorrow. But today I'm just going to do a little bit of cardio. I got everything in order when it comes to my home stuff. So yeah, it was a very chill, very boring day. The hunger is back with a fucking bang though, because like I am so feeling myself today in a sense where like I just want to eat everything and anything, but obviously I'm not going to be doing that. And also an interesting thing is how my weight went down so quickly this time, because I ate like fucking junk. I didn't eat good food at all. And like the spike that I had yesterday was like the biggest one I've had so far after a cheat day. But somehow like my weight is going down quite quickly. So like if tomorrow is going to be a similar day as it is today, I'm going to be back to my original weight in only 2 days, which seems suspicious. I don't really believe it's going to move down that fast, but like if you only like consider today, that's already a very, very good thing, because I didn't expect to lose so much water and so much weight in just like a single day. So that is a good thing. But yeah, I guess there is nothing more to say. I am going to be going downstairs to do my cardio now. Then I'm going to be watching a little bit of TV. Tomorrow is a day off, which is great. So I get to go directly into the gym and I don't need to go into the office because tomorrow is Patriots Day. So yeah, I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow.